Hey everybody, welcome back to Montreal Connected. It's time now for the panel, and joined today by Arpon Basu from LNash.com and Sean Gordon from the Globe and Mail. Thanks for being here, guys. And of course, we're going to talk Montreal Canadiens hockey, a big series sweep, 4-0 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pretty impressive stuff, and obviously, I think it was a surprise for most fans. What were some other surprises in the series?
Well, to me, it's just the completely inability of the Tampa Bay Lightning to play the way they had in the regular season. They were a fast team, moved through the neutral zone swiftly, came into the zone with possession, created chances. They were an exciting team to watch, and the Canadiens just took that excitement away from them. They were unable to solve the Canadiens' forechecking scheme, the neutral zone defense that they were throwing at them. It was just, kind of one mistake after another for them whenever they had the puck.
I think I need to apologize to Michel Therrien. I actually wrote that I thought he'd be outcoached in this series, and he wasn't.
You weren't the only one.
I was the only one. Fair enough. It was brilliant. It was good. And he also had a key advantage, which is he had a proper starting goalie, which is, kind of a good thing in the playoffs.
And a healthy defense.
Yeah. And I think that when you looked at the flaws of both teams, kind of thought they'd cancel each other out, but as it turns out, the fatal flaw of the Tampa Lightning was not being able to adjust and kind of a slow, crappy defense. They were able to exploit it pretty heavily.
Yeah, some bad goals probably, and also some bad calls. And you're talking about Lightning coach John Cooper there. How do you think he handled it? I mean, he was dealing with a lot of adversity.
Yeah, I think he's a very interesting guy, and I think that he kind of learned it as he went along, and he's very good at kind of analyzing things and getting all meta on the whole question. I think he did as well as can be expected. I mean, you don't have like the Andre Palat, who was their leading scorer in the regular season, goes out for he's banged up, goes out for one of the games, doesn't have his starting goalie, has these calls go against him and stuff. I mean, I think he did what he could. The fatal problem was not being able to come up with a solution to the forecheck.
Yeah, and there were so many shots of Cooper just like this. Yeah. He was just going like this. Like he couldn't believe it, and the reffing has been a big kind of a hot topic right now.
Yeah,
they did have a couple goals, the goal called back, and even in the game 4, I mean, Stamkos was losing his mind. I never seen Steven Stamkos that fired up when Emelin took what he thought was a dive behind the net. I mean, I think the Lightning are just shaking their heads all the way to the golf course.
Well, I mean, he said it. He said he was waiting for the breaks to go their way, but the thing is that usually you create your breaks. And they were starting to get breaks in the third period. The third period of Game 4 was the only period I felt where they played anything close to what they played like in the regular season. Yeah. They came out, they were desperate, their season was on the line, and they took it to the Canadiens. The first 6.5 minutes, they scored twice. And so you create breaks by initiating the play, by being the aggressor, by being the one who's on the puck first. That's how you get breaks. Refs notice that in a game. When you're the ones who are constantly driving the play, they'll have a tendency to give you the benefit of the doubt rather than the team that's been chasing the whole night.
Speaking of breaks, too, I mean, when that puck came out in the third period to Steven Stamkos in the Game 4 and the stick breaks, he's got the open net. I mean, that
three times in the series where he had
it's kind of a microcosm of the Lightning season right there. And the other thing also is and this is going to be the problem with hindsight, and I don't know that John Cooper is a guy who's necessarily given to flagellating himself on these sorts of things, except that when they put Kristers Gudleskis into Game 4, all of a sudden, like I was watching this guy, I was like, he's not giving up another goal. Like he's, I thought
we'd seen that act before.
And we've seen that act before, and I thought to myself, well, okay, so the Lightning are going to win this game, and now what with this guy in net? And yet, it's one of those things where I guess you look at it in hindsight and you think, well, maybe he might have come in earlier, except that, I don't know, like it's one of those things that you can't really tell either way. And the Habs, let's face it, the Habs dominated large swaths of this series. And if they play like this going forward, they're going to be really tough out.
Let's take a look ahead now. Canadians have a week off before their next series. Is this going to hurt them? What do they have to do to keep going forward in the playoffs?
I don't think it'll hurt them necessarily. I mean, it's a little longer than you would like, but getting a break and getting time. I mean, the advantage of the new playoff system in the Stanley Cup playoffs is that now they know they're playing the winner of Boston-Detroit, whereas in the past they wouldn't know exactly which team they would play. They would have to scout the other 6 teams in the East. Now they know they're going to watch that series, they're going to break down both teams, they're going to have game plans specific to each team, and have a week to prepare for either team. So basically, whoever wins that series, they're going to have a 5-day head start on either of them in terms of preparation.
It's interesting, Arpon, not so much time.
Well, just make one quick observation is that Arpon actually asked Michel Therrien about this, and he said, after Game 4, and he said, well, you know, they have time to scout us too. They know everything. But except that, it's a much smaller sample, right? And so I think that going forward, if this is a team that can rest the battered bodies and can come up with a game plan, I don't see why they wouldn't give a really great fight to whoever they face in the second round.
Rest is definitely key, and you guys get some rest. It looks like it's going to be a long playoffs. We definitely hope, and you guys were at the game the other night, so definitely tired there. But hey, thanks for being here, and we'll see you again soon.
All right, cheers.
Yeah.